in this presentation, we're working on the application on the iPad, using iPad for DSD. With me here again is Mark Santini and Jonathan from the Integrasys. Integrasys over the years helped us to customize their program. When we started working with them 10, 12, 15 years ago, there were some ice cream guy from, I think, Häagen-Dazs. They got together and created their own the programming company. They got laid off from Häagen-Dazs, and then they started their own business. Then they had some program, limited program. When Yummy saw their program, we saw that it's customized for ice cream, so we got involved. Later on, we asked them to do more and more, including doing the accounting part for it, and then we asked them to do basically prospecting. Now we ask them to do, and lots of you working with Integrasys, and you ask for some customization. They did it. The good thing about Integrasys is that every time somebody make an improvement to their program or create more items, they share it with everybody. So I would suggest that in the future we get together, instead of pulling them every which way, we get together and share the cost and do things that maybe you think about something that I didn't think about, and we do it the first time around would be better. One of the issues that I had with the program was I wanted to be green. It's important to me that to be green. I'm not one of those liberals that don't care about the business and just wants to do greens at the cost of business. And for your information, my son is getting his PhD in the political science and his thesis on environment and green. And he always talks to me, and I get him advice. And I told him, any solution you have, it has to make business sense. If it doesn't make a business sense, it's not going to work. Okay? So the reason I'm green and don't want to be a paperless is not because only being green is because make business sense. I don't waste lots of paper, the cost of paper, the cost of lots of other things and supplies and so on and so on. And basically, when we went to Integrasys about 2 years ago and asked that, basically we just bought a whole new set of new handheld. The old bricks that we used to use for handheld, and we just create invoice with. Then we went to more better handheld, and we spent about $400,000. And then pretty soon after that, I said, wow, what a dumb thing to do. We want a better thing, and technology is available. Today, you go to restaurants, the waiters, they come with the iPad and show you their menu, their wine list. You go to a big corporation, the receptionist with the iPad got your name. I mean, it's limitless what they're doing. And I don't get into it because you all seen it. But why can't we use that? So we went to Integrasys and said, we want the iPad. And the iPad mini is about $300. Cheaper than any other device we use, and it can do everything we do with those handhelds and more, and more. We have pre-sales. Pre-sales are like the DSD. You need to know the schematics. You need to know what you're selling. When you have 700 SKUs in your system like me, it's very hard to know which customer needs what and how, and everything needs to be, basically no driver can remember that. So one of the things we do, the difference between the iPad and those little handheld device, you can see lots of report, lots of pictures, lots of presentations, lots of information that is not doable on those little handhelds. We implemented this program at the beginning of this year. Finally, we completed, and we are not the only customer to Integrasys who have so many other projects. That's why I'm saying if we get together and we come up with the ideas that we want and makes their life easier and our life easier and it's cheaper for all of us. So this this iPad solution is basically, I'm not gonna get to information side of it. I'm gonna have, as an operator and the executive of our company who uses it, and he get all the informations, he's gonna explain it to you, and then Jonathan from the Integrasys part of it can explain to you. So I promise you I shut up as much as I can, because everybody knows in my company that once I take over, I don't let go. So with that, I let Jonathan to start with giving you some information, and then later on, Mark is going to show that how Yummy use these tools and how we take advantage of it. I give you one example that I witnessed and is important to me as an investor, as an owner of a company. They come back to me and say, oops, we just spent $400,000. We want to throw away and buy a bunch of $40,000 with the iPads. And I said, okay, because I have trust in my guys. But we went to the market tour and we went to a convenience stores and we wanted to see, audit the convenience store, Mark, myself, and a couple of other guys. We went to a store, mom and pop, a Vietnamese lady was there, and I said, good morning, ma'am. We are from Yummy Ice Cream. We like to look at your freezer, if you don't mind, for ice cream. She said, no. You are too expensive. You are too expensive, everything too expensive. We need cheaper stuff, I said, okay, let us look at it, we get back to you. Again, we went by the freezer, he said, see, you're too expensive. So once we look at the freezer and everything else, Mark look at the iPad, look at the history of that account. Believe it or not, the top seller in volume, not only dollar, in volume, was the top most expensive items. When we pull it out, we said to her that, ma'am, you bought this item more than anything else, and these things that you think that you want this cheap one, they don't sell as much. And when she looked at it, and we have all the invoices, all the visits and everything else right there, right then, she just put her tail between her legs and walked away without saying anything. The point I'm making is our customers' perception is their reality. When they think that the only cheapest stuff would sell, is their perception. And if we go by their perception and with their insistence, without educating them, without having the data, remember that last presentation we talked about data. We cannot change their mind. And this tool would help you do that. Thank you.
Good morning. It's great to be here with you all this morning. For those of you who know me know I have a lot of little kids running around in my house. The oldest is in 5th grade. We're heavy into the 5th grade humor right now. So one of his jokes, they read a lot of Boys Life, they're in Cub Scouts. So one joke that I've heard recently, just a very simple, knock-knock joke is, what did the hat say to the coat rack? Anyone? You stay here, I'll go on ahead. All right, I can see that some people are still awake out there. My name is Jonathan Tuhill, and I'm with Integrasys. Integrasys provides and is the proud creator of DSD Manager. So DSD Manager is a one-stop shop for the DSD, with the DSD-specific route accounting solution. We've expanded it over the years. We have a great history in that we were started with the former IT director at Häagen-Dazs. So our heritage is in ice cream, and we've grown into a number of other spaces as well. What I want to show you today is just one of our latest innovations. But it's important to know that this is just one piece of a much bigger solution. So we really are able to provide for the DSD distributors the handhelds or the iPads with the software, and then the whole back end DSD Manager, which is the brains of the operation here. But what I wanted to do today is really get into the iPad pre-sales app. We're very proud of this app. We released it in July of this year with much help from our Yummy team and friends here as well. So I just want to get into some of the functionality that we've built into the app. Right now the app is fully capable of pre-sale functionality. From being able to show up at the store and take an order and have that order transmit back to DSD Manager in real time. It also works in batch mode. If you don't want to pay the extra cost to the cellular provider, it will also work in batch mode. It can connect via wirelessly. It uses all of the Apple tools in order to connect to the network. You can brand the app with your company's logo, so it gives you that nice look and feel as you walk into that store, that the app is branded with your company name. We have integration with Google Maps in order to give your drivers driving directions to the next location. And I'll show you some of those images of the app in just a moment here. Signature capture, the ability to collect a signature when you're taking an order, and also the ability to, Haas was talking about trying to become more green as a company. So we've really led the development of this app with the ability to email the orders rather than print them out. So when you're done making an order, you can email those to the customers. Some other features of the app, you can view sales history and open accounts receivable. You can add a custom message to the order, and what will happen there is when the salesman takes the order, that message will go up the DSD Manager and then download on the back end to the driver if there's any specific request for that stop. You can apply the promotions, you can do credit hold. One of the biggest features that is really a continuation of our ruggedized devices is the ability to audit and track your freezers out there in the field. And that's a key part of this particular pre-sales app. And for those of you who are already Integrasys customers, it is plug and play to DSD Manager. It's just very quick. You can get up and running with a pilot. You can pilot it for 30 days and then you're off to the races. So it is very seamless to what you're already using with DSD Manager. So I just want to get in here just to kind of the look and the feel of the app and talk a little bit more in detail about the functionality that's available. This is our login screen here. You can see it's branded with the customer's logo. You can log in by route. So a particular route driver, if he's sick for this particular day, he can log in with somebody else's information and it'll have all of the stops in that particular iPad. From the main screen, you can see that you can, on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see that you have all of your stops, all of your scheduled stops. If you click on the other tab there, you can see all of the accounts that are associated with this particular route. If you can look, it's hard to see on the screen here, but there's a little Google Map icon. So whenever you want to go to that customer, you can click on that app, that little icon there, and it'll actually log into Google, and it'll take you right to that stop with those driving directions. Also, you can see from the main screen here is where we have our asset tracking. At the bottom of the screen there, use this pointer here. At the bottom of the screen here, you can see that there are different tabs. So the bottom tab here is you can select a customer over here, and all of the asset information for that customer appears, and you can start auditing those assets, making sure making sure that those assets don't have somebody's bologna sandwiches that are kept in there, for example. One of my personal favorites. You can also check the customer's AR here as well. You can see what promotions are running for that customer, and then this is the main order tab. Also at the top here we have route messages, so the ability to send messages down to the driver. These would be not specific customer messages, but messages that are for that particular driver. When you're ready to place an order, you click on the plus sign over here, and you're able to place the order at that time. This is the main order screen. On the left-hand side here, you can do a sale, a return, a buyback, or a sample. In the Integrasys world, we differentiate between a return and a buyback. A buyback will go back into inventory versus a return, which would be for spoilage, something that would not go back into inventory. Either way, you're able to leave a reason code as to why you're taking that product back. You can then start to add products to the particular order. We also support order templates based on sales history. So if you want to pre-fill an order with products that have been purchased within 30, 60, 90 days, whatever the interval, you're able to set that up ahead of time. When you select the product, you can also see the product's history over the last 6 invoices, what the product was sold for over those last 6 invoices. If you don't see the product that you want, you can simply click on the plus sign here, and it will then take you to the lookup screen where you can start adding products to the order. This is just a quick snapshot of what that order screen is. On the left-hand side, you have the categories, and then on the right-hand side, you can start adding the products to that actual order. When you've added all the products to the order, you have the ability to enter a message that will go up with this order and then come down on the driver's side, so any particular message that you might have. When you're completed, when you're done with that particular order, you can then add a signature for that order. And finally, we have our confirmation page. So you have the ability to email the order at this time. It has the complete order information. Another thing I forgot to mention that is you can select the delivery date at the top of when you want the order delivered. Within DSD Manager, you can automatically set the defaults. So if they're always a week out, it would automatically default that date, but the driver has the ability to change that on the fly. Currently, right now, you do have the ability to print, but right now it just supports printing to AirPrint printers. Those of you who are familiar with Apple products, an AirPrint printer is the standard for Apple. We are looking to add a 4-inch thermal option for those of you who need to print those orders. So some other things, we released this iPad app back in July, and we've had a great response already. We've had Yummy is obviously using it, but there's a number of you who have also assisted us in bringing this iPad to market. But these are some of the key functions that are coming soon. One is the ability to scan. So when you go into a store, you'll be able to scan that asset, and it'll help you with your auditing, and that's coming very soon. The ability to take a survey and set up custom surveys. The ability to print to a Bluetooth thermal printer on the ordering side, downloading item images, and also coming to an IAI CDV show next year will be the full sales functionality as well. So the ability for you to use, those of you who do pack and pedal and so on, to use this iPad to do all of that as well. Just to be clear, we do this already on the ruggedized mobile handhelds. All of this functionality is already there. This is just on the iPad side. So with that, I'll turn it over to Mark Santini, who's going to take you through how they use the iPad as well.
Thank you, Jonathan. For me, I tell you, 2 years in the works with Jonathan and Peter from Integrasys on this project, and we are very happy in the rollout and how we've utilized the software. As Jonathan mentioned, there's a lot of other things behind. We probably had a laundry list of 30 different features we wanted in the app. Couldn't launch with all the 30 features, so it's a phased approach. As Jonathan mentioned, this is some of the stuff that's coming up next. And there's some other things that we have behind the scenes as well we're trying to work on. As Jonathan mentioned, it'd be good for us to partner up and share those resources and get together as a panel with Integrasys on everybody's needs. So we're not just spinning our wheels and having Integrasys work on 5 different projects. Let's unify that to work on one project. But in our business, we really couldn't wait for all those things to happen. So with the app has been great. It's really given our people the tool they need to go out and sell and be professional in selling and having that resource right in front of them. The promotional piece is outstanding. Let them see what's going on with the promotional activity. The audit function works great. We don't have the scanning capability, but it's still there where they can audit the customer. Our people have really embraced it and use it, and it's just one tool they have to carry around now. But we needed some more stuff that the app didn't provide. So we've allowed our people to access remote desktop through the iPad, which if you guys use DSD, it's the DSD system. SurveyMonkey we use because surveys weren't readily available right now, so we still need surveys. So we use SurveyMonkey for that feature. We use through the iPad. Manage our devices remotely. Track the location of the device, and that's important. Access documents through the box, email access, and video conferencing. So you see, that's a lot for a salesperson to have at their hands. But everything is paperless. So that's Hoss mentioned being green. We're completely paperless with our salespeople. So accessing the remote desktop, we use it through terminal services. Our people log in DSD like the normal screen, and it's route specific. So we've set our routes up to be user profile that they only can see their route in the system. It's set up, they can see their route with Prospect Manager, they can see their route with customer service function in DSD only. So they can't get to see a whole bunch of backdoor stuff. They see only what we set up for them to do. Why we use this and why it's important in the customer service screen, if you guys ever use DSD, there's a lot more we like to have our people have available. Notes. Notes about a customer is extremely, extremely important. Every time we do something, we want our people to be able to update and put a note in that customer for whatever reason. It may be there's a problem with the freezer, that gets communicated on. The customer has an issue with where we placed the freezer. We had a problem with the freezer constantly breaking down. All that is for that route person to see. Okay, it makes all the notes readily available. Hopefully we'll be able to incorporate that in with the order function they see later, but that's one of the functions we use it for. Electronic forms. Our people are out, they leave from their house every morning, run their route and go back home. They don't come to the office, our salespeople. So we compensate our people mileage from their first stop to their last stop. And how we do that, we do it electronically. We use SurveyMonkey to do that. They fill out their information. There's several questions that they answer, and that gets submitted daily, and it's an automated report, and we calculate their mileage on a weekly basis, audit it and make sure it's valid, and then we submit them compensation. No more signing a piece of paper and sending in with the route driver. We also do it for store audits. If we want questions, we want to figure out what's going on, price point, if there's, we want to find something out about shelving. We put this in there, boom, push it out to our people, they get the link, and it's instant. In an instant, within 5 minutes, they can have this link to go ahead and answer surveys, and we get that data the way we want the questions answered, so we can import that into our system and give our suppliers the information they're looking for. Managing device apps remotely, this is important. We have 50 salespeople using iPads plus our relief people, and being able to track those devices and be able to push apps out to those devices within an instant. And so we use AirWatch. AirWatch is a software that helps us maintain security in the system, what they can access, what they can't access using that iPad. So we're able to push apps An update comes from DSD. You guys know how that works, right? You got to do it in the middle of the night. We have to wait there, but we don't have to do that. We can push that app, that DSD update out automatically out to all the iPads with one click of a button, and they get it on their iPad. So that's huge. You know, they work from home. They don't have to come in to do a download, do an update. It's done automatically from them. So as many times as we do updates with DSD and they send that information out, it's very helpful for our people. We can lock the device. We've had several devices stolen. You know, our people left them and someone grabbed them, but immediately they call and say, hey, my device, it's missing. We lock it. We know exactly where it was at that point in time. Matter of fact, we had one that was returned to the police department. Once they got the note, this property belongs to Yummy, you can no longer do anything, that person drove that to the police office and turned it in. So you know, you're investing in the technology. Here's a way to keep that technology safe. Tracking the device, GPS tracking, where that device is at all times. You do it two ways. You can do that through the AirWatch app, or we're on with Apple, so Find My iPhone. And so you can kind of see where all our people are out for the day. It's a good way for our managers also to do a quick check. Are all my guys working and out in the field as they're supposed to be, by just going to this one screen to see where all his people are for the day, and if they're out working. Again, they leave from their house, they go to their first store, and they come back home at the end of the day. Managing the devices, that's important as well, to make sure everybody's got the latest versions, the health of those devices, all done from the AirWatch program. It helps us manage those devices for our individuals. We get to see the health status, the battery level. We can communicate. My IT department lets the message know, hey, I need you to bring your iPad in because it looks like you're going to have some trouble with it. We manage that from device status using AirWatch. Then the box, which is really important. And I apologize for I'm rushing. Boss, give me, I have to get done early. We're behind about half an hour, so I'm trying to go through this without missing anything. Centralized documents. So, emailing, hey, what version do I have? This is a new sales sheet. This is version 5. This is version 6. We replaced that on the box. We use that for all our people. If there's a new sales presentation, the old one's automatically deleted, the new one's there. They don't have to guess which sales presentation you're using. That's the new one that's inside their Dropbox. All our tracking forms, all the information we need to be latest and greatest is there readily using the box. It's simple. Again, as we've gone to paperless, we all have freezer agreements we have to have signed. We all have sales certificates that we have to, resale certificates we have to get pictures of. We do all that with the iPad. We have PDF editable forms. The customer signs it. We then email these over to our customer setup team, and they attach that to the customer in DSD. So no papers being submitted. It's all electronic. Planograms. Your people get to the store. They need to know the planogram for that customer. They can go to a file, select, here's my CVS, here's the planogram. They pull it up immediately. They now have that planogram ready, available for them to go ahead and set the store properly. Electronic sales sheets, as I mentioned. Latest and greatest for them to go out and pitch their presentation. Here's my sales sheet. It's all there. If the customer wants it, they can email that sales sheet to the customer versus printing it out. And of course, there's something new that comes out. You have a video that you want your sales team to look at. We can push that video down to them. They can watch the sales training video. They can then share that with their customers on their sales pitch. If they're doing a sales pitch and they want to say, hey, look what this supplier's using towards their product. And the last thing, as we mentioned, there's not a scan function for asset audit. So we take pictures to really validate that asset's there. So we use the email function. All our people have email addresses. They're all uniform, so really simple. Every one of our handhelds is designated by a route, and that route doesn't change. It has a phone number and a route number associated to that route. So if a new person takes over the route, that's the same phone number and same email address the customer has. They don't have to worry about getting a new business card. It's the same person, same information. So we like to keep that simple for our customers. But emailing pictures of the store. If our guys have a question about a store, they can take a picture and send it to their manager, say, here's what I see. Give me an idea of what I should do to upsell this customer. All that's done through the technology that we have out there. And a lot of you guys know Mo. Mo's been at this conference several times. But Mo helped us with this, showing the video conferencing. You know, a lot of us, you know, you use FaceTime, and our managers have that ability. If a guy's confused about something, we'll use FaceTime to go show me what you're looking at, and then they have that communication on how to solve that problem, which is a great tool. So sometimes when you're trying to talk to people, it's good to see them when you're having that conversation. Just a phone call. We use video conferencing a lot as well with our people. And that's what we use it for, so hopefully we made up some time. But I will tell you that I'm really pleased with what Entegris has done with this program. They are enhancing it as we go. There's a lot more features that are there. I don't want to let too much out of the bag, but really if you're using the program, I would get with Jonathan and work together on some of your ideas that you have. Yummy doesn't have all the answers. I promise you that. A lot of things are done in different markets for different reasons, and we can share those ideas with Entegris and hopefully make this more universal for everyone. But we're very pleased with the program. If you're not using it, I highly recommend you getting on board with it. Awesome.
At this time, we ask if you have any question, we're at your service. And remember, all throughout the convention, all of us are available to you to talk one-on-one and bounce ideas off of each other. By the way, Tom, Javier gave me some idea for your program. We need to get together on that. Yes?
Sync with iCloud, yes. Yes.
Any other question? I think pretty soon we are going to have lunch served, and if there is no other question, it's been a pleasure serving you and be at your service. Again, let's work together, and only together we can become more successful. Thank you.